Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to 2 Point Hospital. We are back in Swelbard and you can see not much has changed here. We do have now our doghouse and our little urban mythology room, which had some really cool little new building pieces and stuff that I added in, including this nice light, the camera, and a miniature city here, which are large mechanical and dinosaur-based patients will be able to go in and play around in while they get cured in the inner city simulator, which is a really cool little feature. Nice little thing there where we got Godzillas and giant robots flying around our city. Anyway, the doghouse again is another cool touch. We've already seen that one. So we're just going to let things run a little bit. As you can see, the money is pretty low. And our new objectives are to train 2 staff members in research, complete the Roachburger scandal research project. We do have some diagnosis decisions here. We're just going to send those patients home. We need to train 30 staff members. So again, it's very much going to be a similar situation to what we had in those original, like, smaller star objective. And yeah, we're just going to start training some of our staff as soon as we've got a little bit more money in. We're getting a lot of diagnosis decisions. We need a clown clinic, but again, we're just going to send them home. I think I will be able to fit a clown clinic in here, but I'm very conscious of the fact that I might be overexerting myself with the cures that we're bringing in. So the first step is going to be to work on research. We're going to have our student researcher train this student doctor. That's going to be 1 training done, and then we can start focusing them on training up in research level 3. They're currently on research level 1, so we'll need to bring in some guest trainers to do that, but we can just allow our hospital to continue curing patients, building up some cash while we wait. We do need to put in some waiting rooms and stuff here, and also there's space to fit in a few more 3x3 rooms, which actually might allow us to move these general diagnosis rooms into the other building. And once that's done, we'll actually be able to fit in another couple of GP's offices. So we'll just move these across now. That should give us enough space to fit a very small toilet in. Yep, perfect. And we're not going to promote our staff members right now. We're just going to let that simmer for a little bit. Then we'll put in another toilet block here. Just going to be a small one, but it will allow us to put in sinks and hand dryers, and it will just service that little bit of the hospital there that we don't actually have a toilet in yet. We can then put in another staff room on this area if needs be, but I think that's probably where we're going to fit in our clown clinic. So that research is nearly done, which is really good. And again, we've got more diagnosis decisions to be made here. But I think where we left off last time, we did have enough staff in GP. We only have 4 actually, so we are going to need to get that upgraded a little bit as well. So next up, we'll start training some GPs. They are only in level 1, so we are going to need to be aware of that and just make sure that we are promoting these guys accordingly, then sending them all off for training. But as I'm about to bring around some new doctors, I think it's probably pertinent and a very good idea that we hire 4 new GPs. And then what we'll do is we'll get all 4 of them trained up in general practice level 1. And we'll have 1 doctor train them. So boom, all of those student doctors into there, get all 4 of them trained. We need the PANS lab. Now I think that's something that we've been thinking about putting in for a while. So now that we can actually afford it, I believe. Anyway, we'll stick the PANS lab down, and it does fit in that little gap there. So that goes in, and we can work on a clown clinic another time. We do have some very angry patients here who are threatening to walk out if they aren't seen too quickly. But right at this moment in time, we can't actually afford to spare any kind of extra staff and stuff. We do drop into debt a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it. We do have a clown clinic patient right there. We're just going to send them straight home. And then we can continue on with our other stuff. So what is this diagnosis decision? Let's send them for treatment and see what happens. Okay, so he is, I think, being sent to urban mythology. And we do require a nurse to work in there. Let's just have a quick look at our timetables here and see if we have... Yeah, so we do have nurses here. We don't have any cured in treatment. Cured in treatment? Any trained in treatment. So we're going to have to bring in a few new nurses to work in treatment. this is where we're going to start to see our wages and stuff go a little bit haywire. But I want 3 nurses trained in treatment, so we're going to bring them all in and get them trained up. I do believe, or at least I thought, I had some people already trained in treatment that can actually come in and do that work. So that's 3, 4 new no, only 3. I thought we'd got 4 in there. Maybe one of them has already done it. So we'll train up someone now in treatment level 1. We do have 2 student doctors who can do the training, and they're going to train up the nurses. And that'll help us out there. We're not going to promote staff. We're going to go over to our staff tab again. We're going to find our doctors, and we're going to make sure that we only have them working in general practice. We've got 4 there, 4 here, only working in general practice. And then I'm going to then be able to have a couple already just kind of waiting in the wings for when we start training doctors in general practice level 2. And I think probably our next step then is to just quickly promote the 4 doctors that we have here who are ready. So we'll promote you. Try and keep your salary as low as possible. We're not going to promote any nurses and stuff yet. We're just going to promote all of our GP trained doctors that are able to be trained. So that's our doctors promoted, and now we just got to wait a little bit until our training rooms become available, and then we will get them trained. We can also now, well, once we've got a bit more money, we'll be able to duplicate these 2 GPs officers and put them in this area right here where we previously had these diagnosis rooms. Once these nurses are trained in treatment, we'll make sure that they're only set to work in treatment rooms, and then we can start on improving their treatment skills. So we don't want them working in the pharmacy or general diagnosis. Cardiology and the ward is also not going to be allowed. Fluid analysis is a no-go, but clown clinic, chromotherapy, not the fracture ward, not the injection room. We'll leave them in pest control, surgery, cryptology, doghouse, and urban mythology. So that means we can have nurses working in the doghouse and urban mythology, and that's going to start to hopefully improve as we improve our staff quota here. So we've got psychiatry stuff coming in. We do need to hire some more janitors, I think. We're struggling a little bit there. So we're going to bring in another couple of janitors. We've got people dying. It's not looking good. It's a bit chaotic. Let's see what awards we've won anyway. And hopefully that'll be a good year. It's not been too bad, actually. 4 out of 8. So now hopefully these janitors will at least clean things up. DNA lab are an absolute no-go. We have a staff resignation warning from Ginny Crusts. We're going to give her the pay review that she's requested, and we will just satisfy her pay requests a little bit to bring her up to at least a mid-level on her pay rise, and that should sort out her happiness levels, which is really good. Now, we do have a staff member in here, Sophia Mountain. If we just have a quick look at her. She is trained in both injection administration and pharmacy. We will need to improve her treatment skills, actually, so we probably should train her up, but we could also do with a staff member who can come in and actually work in both of those rooms. Then we'll eventually have 2 nurses who are equipped to work across both of them. We just have a quick look at our staff at the moment. We only have Sophia Mountain here. But these 2 that are treatment-based, they can, at a push, go in and work in the pharmacy and injection administration while Sophia is training our new staff member. So we will just keep that in mind. But we need to do another training course. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have general practice level 2. And we're going to have a guest trainer come in. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doctors. Actually, no. We can just do the 1. Let's just do 1. And then that doctor will train our next tiers of doctors. You can see things are getting a little bit out of control here. So we do actually have the money now to copy these GPs officers and hopefully spread out the queues a touch. There we go. Right, our staff requests have been sorted out. We're going to send patients for treatment. I think there must be another level in the treatment pathway that we haven't quite reached, so we may need an extra diagnosis room, potentially the mega scanner. So if we just have a quick look at our mega scan, I think I do have a blueprint for it. It does not fit there. It will fit here, but it does cause a little bit of a weird snarl up in that area, so I'd kind of like to avoid that, which might actually mean we could potentially... Let's just have a quick look at what we've got. This will fit here. We can reduce the size of our PANS lab. Let's do that. So if we bring the PANS lab over here, and then we will move the actual machine back a touch. No, that's not going to work either. What about the ward? Will they go on? No, they'll need to be reduced in size as well. The doghouse could potentially work. We could change the size of that. For now, though, let's just let things settle. Now, once this training's done, we're going to jump ahead and do a little bit more training, try and sort out this phenomenal queue that we've got building up here, and then we'll come back. We do need to get a thermal comfort rating of 75%. I'm going to do that very quickly, just before my staff get upset. Okay, so we're a few years ahead now, and I did this because I wanted to get some training done, build up my finances, and try and solve the issues that we were having earlier on. Happily, we've managed to do that just by training our staff and sorting out our queues and stuff. So once again, we've won Best Teaching Hospital, Best Research, Employer of the Year, and Rising Star Awards. But you can see that we've made a couple of adjustments. We did finally put in our DNA lab, and we're in the process of upgrading that now. Then we've also added in the mega scanner, the chromotherapy, a surgery, a toilet up there, and the clown clinic. I think that covers us for all of our illnesses. As you can see, we've trained 30 staff. We've done that with relative ease. Our cure rate has stabilized. It was very, very low earlier on, and we've now managed to get that up. The one thing I haven't done is train my staff in research level 3 and completed the Roachburger scandal research project, because I think it's time we did that now in this playthrough. So let's move on. We have the Roachburger scandal here. It's 4,000. I could have upgraded my doghouse and my urban mythology, but I thought we'll get on with this now. So once that's done, we'll have that objective knocked off, and we should be able to then train our staff in research level 3. Now, while we're doing this, let's just have a quick look at our staff. You can see we now have 40 staff members here, including a phenomenal number of doctors trained in general practice to help us out with any queues that we might get. We've then got surgery level 2s. We've got some DNA lab techs that are trained in treatment as well, because my plan is to only have treatment based going on in the DNA lab. We don't need to use that for the diagnosis kind of tree. We now have the mega scanner for that, so that should really help us out here. Currently have a janitor in there upgrading, but we're also doing some scans there as well, which continues to improve that diagnosis pathway for urban mythology. Now, it has gone a little bit off center here, but we can cope with that. We've got a pharmacy emergency that I've just rejected, and there was absolutely no need to reject it, because here Isabella is just kind of not doing anything. She does have a promotion, so we're going to do that, and then we might be able to squeeze her in for a treatment training. We're improving our diagnostics as well. We've got a couple of staff members in there getting up to level 4. So if we just have a quick look at, again, the nurses here. We have like some really close to maxed out nurses here. In ward management in particular, general diagnosis is going very well as well, and then treatment for our new treatment stuff that's going on, which will include assisting in the surgery. So this should all start to see us make good use of our new rooms, and our staff are better equipped to deal with stuff. That's why I didn't put these rooms in too early, because we'd start ending up with lots of failed cures and stuff, and it's just helped us manage things a lot better. I've not actually needed to send anybody home at any point, and I'm actually slowly upgrading all of my machines as well. So it's actually been a really, really good kind of slow progress in this one, but it has definitely been worth it. We can upgrade our Jab Master next once we've got enough money to do so. The K9 away we can't do yet because we don't have the unlock for that yet, but if we get all of the machines in this room upgraded that we can then continue moving on with stuff. The inner city simulator that I upgraded because we did that in the 1-star objective to counteract my foolishness in doing everything else in a different playthrough of this and messing it up because the audio was dreadful. But yeah, everything's looking pretty good. We're getting our improvements in. That should be every machine queued for an upgrade, and we do have 2 janitors who can actually do those, so that's good as well. And let's see what trainees we've got available. We've got another doctor we can train up in general diagnosis level 3, but Isabel Drum here, I do want to train her in treatment so that when she's working in between these 2 areas. Now, we do have a DNA emergency coming in here. I'm going to accept it, and then we're going to quickly duplicate the mega scanner. And we're going to put it directly opposite the current one. Then, I do have another staff member who is trained to use the mega scan, so that should immediately solve any issues that we have. This has been a different way of playing the game for me. Normally, I'm quite chaotic, and I throw things down and try and get everything done very quickly. But taking it a little bit slow and just letting things run has really helped, because now I can duplicate rooms safe in the knowledge that we're going to have a staff member ready to go and start using them. And that's why it's been a much smoother process here, and I've not had to send as many people home. We did have, if I go to my overview, I think it should be enough to show you. Yeah, you can see, so if we go to our, where can we look here? Patients. So you can see here our cures kind of buckled a little bit, and if I add in, let's have a look at the fails. We were failing quite a few here, and we're still failing a lot, but that's like a cumulative number, I think. I don't think it, oh, it does go down, right? Okay, so over the last 12 months, this is basically what's happened. We've had a bunch of dips and stuff in health, but you can see now that we've kind of flattened that curve a little bit, it's starting to come back up, and the general health of our patients is increasing. But over here in our other tab, we've got 346 cures, 60 ineffective treatments, and 26 fatalities, 91 deaths. Now, a lot of those deaths have happened because people have not got to the treatment phase. But now, hopefully, this is going to start balancing out a little bit more. So if I pop down our cure rate here, you can see it got to about 52%. And at that point, our reputation had kind of got to a semi-high level. That then caused more advanced illnesses coming in, and our cure rate dropped, and now it's stabilized and gone up to the point where we've hit quite a nice cure rate, all being told. Now the happiness rating dropped quite massively as well, but you can see around about here things really balanced out quite nicely, and that's really good. That means we've kind of got to a point now where our patients are being processed at a good rate. Our staff are kind of at the point where they're qualified enough to just about deal with things. So what we'll do is we'll get that Roachburger scandal project done. We've done another year. We didn't no death, we know that. But we have got Hospital of the Year, Best Research Hospital, Patient's Choice. Now, this is good because that means things are really going to start topping out. Now, while things are going, what I'll do is I'll start putting down a few radiators and stuff just to help with our heating, and get a few bins and stuff in and make the place look good, because we've got plenty of money in to be able to do that now. So let's get some more radiators down to try and help keep things nice and warm. We should be able to just put a couple of small ones in the rooms to solve any issues with general temperature inside rooms, and then everything else should just sort itself out quite nicely. I'm going to put a couple of small radiators in the corners here just to min-max these rooms a little bit more. Too hot in a couple of them, but I think we'll be okay. Now, the DNA lab might actually be suffering because of a lack of heating in there. It kind of all leads into it, so you do need to be very careful with how you place your heating and make sure that rooms are fully like fleshed out before you actually move on to the next one. We've got a couple. Can get another small radiator in there. Can I fit one? Put a normal radiator here. I might not need all of those fire extinguishers in the hallway now. That was because one of our treatment rooms, our diagnosis rooms there, kept catching fire. There was kind of no way about it. It was very chaotic for a moment. But yeah, we'll get a couple more of these smaller radiators in. And that's good. Then we can start putting them in the clown clinic. Get a large radiator in here. That should cover the whole room. Few more throughout. Obviously this place hasn't been fully developed yet. We've got a lot more work that we can do in here, so it's not going to take us too long, but once we get everything set up, it should flow very nicely. Get another small radiator in there, and then one at the corner here. Right there, and then one in the toilets. I wonder if I can just fit one very sly radiator in somewhere. It's going to block everything there. There we go. Right, okay, nice and warm. One final one in here. There we have it. Right, okay, so that at least sorts out the thermal comfort rating. The Roachburger scandal research project has now been complete. So let's train. Oh, we can only get one staff member trained in research level 3 at this moment in time, but that's fine. Promote. Let me just have a quick look at my researchers. Level 2. Oh, they have upgraded. Let's cancel that quickly. Research level 3, and then it was because I hadn't promoted them. There we go. Right, they're getting in for training, and that will complete our 2-star objective for Swelbard. Oh, and we have an explosion. This is not good. The palm tree will not go in there. That's not great at all. So something's blown up. I think it said it was the plaster caster, so we're going to need to... Yep, we'll have to replace that. Like that. There we go. Right, that puts that back up, so that's all right again. And back to our decorative items. So we're going to get this sorted very, very quickly now. We are needing to really get this fixed. We'll put a Fitzpocket statue in there, and then we can put a Cheesewater statue here as well. These are really nice. They just give a nice quick boost to your attractiveness. I can probably not a gas plank. That's not going to work. I don't want to put any rugs down in the walkways. Oh, there we go. Our staff have been trained. We've unlocked the globe, and our next step: train 50 staff, cure 35 patients in urban mythology, and complete the Project Windsock research project. So we can actually start on this immediately. If I just go back over to my researchers here, we will get Project Windsock done as quickly as possible. Next up, we want to put in a couple more decorative items just in this hallway to really finish it all off. And I think it's probably going to be stuff on the walls next. Okay, so we've just completed Project Windsock, which knocks out 2 of our 4 final objectives for the 3-star rating. We have, however, reached a point where everything is getting a little bit out of control again, so we can't send anyone home. I'm refusing to do that, so we're just going to have to carry on and hope that our cure rate starts to balance out eventually once we get all of the training complete that we need to do. We actually don't have anyone qualified and ready for training. We need to get them promoted first. So all of our training queue is clear. It just so happens that at the moment we don't have enough staff processing people quick enough, and the cure kind of queue's gone a little bit messy. We have 6 GP's officers. That should be plenty, but it's not working as well as it could be. We could do with upgrading and kind of having a better GP's office in general to improve the actual general diagnosis that happens in there. But if we just have a quick look at Dr. Olivia Force, who is level 4 in general practice, and her stats currently. Patients diagnosed 245. Her diagnosis skill is 180%. So it should be working well enough. We do have a marketing campaign running for urban mythology stuff, so that should bring in a few more patients for that. And if we can just get that cure rate back up to 90%, we'll have finished this level very quickly. Well, not very quickly, very slowly, but very meticulously, and it will certainly be a better way of doing things than what I'm normally used to, which is chaos and throwing everything at it until it works. But let's talk about what we've added in here. I've put another 3 training rooms in. In fact, let's get these awards out of the way. There we go. Again, everything but no deaths. We're doing pretty well in terms of our hospital. We just can't seem to cure people well enough. So 3 training rooms. I moved 2 of my GP's officers over here and then put a reception area here just to process people at reception a lot quicker and hopefully thin the herd out that's in here, because a lot of people were getting in each other's way and the queues that were being caused were very problematic. We do actually have another GP's office here that I completely forgot about, so we've actually got 7 of them. And they should be working, but they don't seem to be doing what I need them to do at the moment. We have our surgery, our chromotherapy, 2 mega scanners, a clown clinic. Over here we've got the ultrasonic cannon from the pest control. We've got our marketing, and here we have a deluxe clinic, which was a late addition. Our research room was moved, so we ended up with another toilet block here and a new GP's office. I maybe will put in another GP's office because a lot of people are quite unhappy here, and that's not helping with the amount of deaths that we have. But let's have a look. We've got some new promotions there which will allow us to train up some more people. We can get a psychiatry trained doctor here coming in. We're actually going to bring in a guest. We've started just doing guest trainees in here because it seems to make the most sense given the amount of money that we've got, and it lets our current staff pool just continue working. And yeah, that helps us out immensely because we've got a lot of treatments that are kind of getting snarled up a little bit. We need a level 4 fluid analysis. Now that might actually help if I can find a way. How big's the fluid analysis? Let's have a quick look. Okay, so we'll abandon this training room. Don't actually need that anymore, so we'll get rid of that. Get rid of the chair, and then put in a fluid analysis. There we go. Nice. Okay, so we've kind of solved some of the issues. We are a little bit stacked up now here in our mega scans, but we now have another 3 GP's officers to go with our mega staff room, and it might well be worth us getting another mega scanner, but that would require some training. We've brought in a load more doctors to kind of train in the general diagnosis and general practice, sorry. So things are starting to go a little bit in our favour again after that horrible little bit of time where we just weren't progressing at all. Sending the patients home did kind of do a little bit of good for us, so that has been good. We restarted our urban mythology marketing because I felt like I'd done that wrong and maybe missed something off, but no, it turns out it was fine. So that's good. Everything's back to normal now. Apart from my mouse pointer seems to have stopped working as well. So yeah, this has been a little bit of a nightmare, but I'm having a lot of fun with the DLC and things are going a little bit more to plan now, so that's good. That's a good report coming back. But yeah, the stuff is starting to go on fire and explode and things, so maybe more janitors would be a good idea, but it has gotten a little bit chaotic. But as you can see, urban mythology patients are starting to finally be processed again after a long wait. And it's because they were stuck in that backlog of patients that we had. So sending them home was definitely the best thing to do. But I think for the DLC, I'm going to need to just rethink how I'm doing the whole like cure tree, basically. Fluid analysis has also helped. But we're going to need another one of those. So I'm just going to copy the one that we've currently got and put that in place as well. And we're giving our diagnosis nurses a lot more work to do as well, so we might need to hire some more of those. So let's get that done. We'll bring in another, like, 2, maybe 3. Let's go with 3. Then again, we'll train them up in the base level of diagnostics for now. And we'll bring a guest trainer in as well so that other staff can just continue working. But we are about to hit our 3-star objectives, I think. Once we get through the queue that's kind of here now, we've got 5 waiting. And yeah, that's probably going to continue to increase. We've cured 22 of 35, so we've got 13 left, which means we should not be far off doing this one. And as you can see, the queues have kind of come down a little bit. I also adjusted my diagnosis threshold, so that's been very useful to do as well. We'll put this mega scan down here and start upgrading it, and that means we're going to need to hire another doctor. So let's grab one here, and let's go with 2, so that if one of them goes for a break, we can actually bring in another one to kind of keep working in radiology. And we will have a guest trainer come in to do that one. There we go. Right, nice. Okay. We're earning plenty of money, though. It's not really become a financial issue. It's more of a queuing issue. And this backlog that we've had to comb through. See, we've got a queue of 9 now at Urban Mythology. So maybe we should just copy this one and plop it down here. And then we can get that queue shifted a little bit as well. There will be a doctor that can work in there, or a nurse that can work in there, I would imagine, who's trained in curing. There we go. Yep, that's good. And again, this will help us start to gain promotions for the nurses that are trained in treatment, that are only assigned to work in certain places. So what happens is, basically, my problem in 2 Point Hospital, and where I always tend to go wrong, is we don't get the diagnoses through quick enough, which means people are dying before they get to the treatment table. So any staff members that I want to train in treatment and upgrade quite quickly aren't getting the experience in treating people because they're not getting there at all. If we just go over to my overview here and have a look at my patients, you will see that we've had 41 in fatalities and 91 ineffective, but 251 deaths. That means 210 of our patients never actually got to the treatment phase. 63 have rage quit and 176 have been sent home. So you can see we've got quite a few issues that have ended up being here. Our reputation is now topped out at 100%, which is another reason why we're getting so many patients in. The cures have plummeted. So you can see around about here, when we actually had a 100% rating for quite a while, we then got a lot more cures, but they started to drop down as we got bigger queues. Happiness has gone up quite nicely though, as has health. So we've started, once again, we started to drop down and then came back up. This is around about the time we sent the patients home though. So it is skewed a little bit. The cure rate dropped massively because we sent those patients home, but we were getting a lot less in terms of fails. But yeah, that's all subject to change as things continue to improve. So we've got a load of fluid accelerators over this side that we can do with upgrading. So we're going to queue them up. We do have janitors who are able to do that. And again with the Mega Scan, which is due for upgrade, but you can see here this has all come from the marketing campaign. So we're actually going to cancel this Metropolism marketing campaign, get rid of that, and then that should allow us to finish off this level with ease and hopefully get things back under control. We've got a queue of 6 here and a queue of 7 there, so 13 with only 9 left. We are going to complete this one. But yeah, just to analyze things a little bit as we close it all out, we definitely suffered a little bit on our treatment pathway, and it all kind of boiled down to our reputation growing too quickly again. So what it might be a good idea to do is boost our prices as high as possible at that point, have a load more training rooms in, but also look at ways that we can continue having our staff members mucking in and working on a number of different things before they actually reach that highest level when it comes to their skill set. And then we can train them in a specialization as we go. I mean, the staff here, the specializations worked well, but I reckon that if we'd had these doctors who are trained in general practice working in other areas other than the GP's offices, we might have got them to max level quicker, which means we could have specialized them quicker and then just had them working in general practice once we got them maxed out. But it's been really nice to actually do a hospital like this where I've been able to train as I go and keep on top of that training queue, slowly expand. I know we've not seen a lot of building in this episode, but I think it was more a objectives oriented one. And it kind of sets us up in good stead for what is the last level of this DLC, but they are certainly a lot more difficult than the actual base game. I was expecting this one to be a bit easier and then the final one to be difficult, but yeah, we can't predict how 2 Point is going to treat us, unfortunately, can we? So you can see the snarl ups are definitely happening in the treatment pathway, and it's actually impacted our cure rate. That has now dropped a little bit, so that's quite frustrating. But 2 of our junior doctors are ready to train in general practice level 2. We'll have a guest trainer do it. 5 more left in urban mythology, and then we just need to get that cure rate back up. Now, what we could do to cheese this, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, is just run an advertising campaign for something like pharmaceuticals. Then we'll get a load of pharmacy patients coming in, which is a quick cure, which boosts your cure rate all the way up as quickly as possible. But I think we can probably hit 90% just letting things go naturally, and we'll hopefully have these objectives done very quickly. But yeah, it's been a really good one. I've really enjoyed this hospital. Obviously, there's a load more expansion we can do. There's still so many plots left that we've not yet unlocked, but I like to try and keep things within my means, so I'm not expanding too much, because you then have to dive into the whole, I've not put any benches in here. I could do it, I'm just being lazy. So we'll do this while the objectives are slowly ticking away. But yeah, it's all about keeping your patients comfortable, entertained, happy, fed, and warm. I think we're a bit too warm in certain areas here, so that's something that I could have looked at as well. one more patient in urban mythology to be cured, and then we'll have done that objective, and then we just need to get that cure rate back up. But as it sounds, we're not getting our cure rate all the way up at the moment. So let's get diagnostics level 3 on this doctor here. One more urban mythology patient. There we go, that's done. And now if we can just get our cure rate up, we will have completed this level finally. It's been a long one in terms of how long I've been playing it. Hopefully I managed to cut the video down a little bit so that you can actually just have a nice flowing experience as we jump through these objectives. But yeah, we need to cure another, we need to get our cure rate up to 90%, so it's probably another 4 patients to get that back up there. And you can see we've got a lot of low health patients here. This could impact us quite severely, which might mean we need to send a lot of these patients home again. And yeah, for now though, in fact, do you know what? Let's just build on plot 6. We'll take the pharmacy emergency on, and then once that new plot is built, we're going to copy these rooms and throw them down. Then hopefully a lot more staff will come in and start working in them, and we can hopefully sort out these queues before people's health drop too low, because we're getting a lot of ghosties coming in there, which isn't nice. Where's the door going to be on this? Is it built? Almost, anyway. Come on. Right, there we have it. The door is... Oh, what's on that side? Okay.
There are reports of an avalanche affecting a hospital in the Pointy Mountains.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edit the room here. We're going to take out everything in there. We'll get rid of it. This is literally just going to be so that we can quickly move through these objectives. Try and get the cure rate back up. And hopefully that will solve the problems. Load of staff promotions coming in, and our research has been completed again, which is good. Let's start a new project already. We'll go with cheesier gubbins so that we get a nice boost to our finances. I don't actually need them, so that doesn't actually help us a great deal, but that's fine. Now then, we'll hire another nurse, another 2 nurses actually, and we'll then train them in treatment. And we can actually upgrade these machines again. We'll queue up this one, we'll queue up our fluid accelerators. And then again here we'll queue up these inner city simulators. And then anyone we possibly can train in treatment, we'll train them now. Okay, right, I'm hoping that works. Our cure rate's gone up to 80%. If we can cure 2 more, that'll take us up to 90%, which should see us complete the level. But as you can see, the demand for nurses has kind of grown exponentially, and with bringing in untrained nurses, we always run the risk of those new nurses messing up a training procedure, a treatment procedure. But there's nothing we can do. We just have to ride that wave and hope that we can make it out the other side. Just going to queue up some more training here. It's another cure coming in, which is good. Junior doctor ready for training in general practice. We'll get a consultant to do that one, and then another training can go in this room down here. I'll go with this junior nurse in diagnostics. There we go. Nice. Okay. So we've got like 13 waiting here in the pharmacy, so if we can actually cure them in very quick succession, we should be okay. My voice sounds like it's going as well, which isn't great. I want to finish this before I lose my voice. Oh god, it's so tight. We're right next to the end. I could really just cheese it all now and send everybody home, but I don't want to do it. If we have a look at the patients with the lowest health, though, we can maybe send a few of those home. Oh. Hang on, that was a nice big boost to the cures. Come on. Oh, what's going on? Why isn't it changed? We failed that. That's a shame. Oh, failing the pharmacy emergency must have knocked it back down. I think we would have had it there if we didn't have that emergency. What a shame. But we're starting to build back up again. Cure rate, we're at the end of the year. Another year has passed. I was really hoping it wouldn't. But again, a clean sweep apart from no deaths. It would be really nice once we get it all filled out and we have everything running smoothly. I'd like to, when I finally finish the actual game and all the DLCs are done, I'd like to come back and try and get a hospital that flows perfectly. And I'd probably go back to Croquembouche and maybe do that. But for now, we'll just have to push on. Hygiene rating of 80%. We are at 80%. Do I just need to put in a couple of like hand sanitizers or something somewhere? And will that help? No, we did it. Excellent. Yes. Come on, one more. We did it. We failed one and then got it. Okay, right. We've unlocked a burning building, a water tower, and a pylon. And they're all additional things for the inner city simulation room. Cool, right. 3-star objectives done. We've unlocked all of that new stuff, and we can now move on to the final level of the Bigfoot DLC, which is very exciting. So, thank you all for watching. Please ignore that everyone is dying here. And I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a bit chaotic towards the end there, but we have managed to do it. And we are making a lot of money now. So, like a complete redevelopment would not be beyond the realms of possibility for this hospital. But thank you all again for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of 2 Point Hospital. Bye bye.